floor is yours, sir.
Thank you very much, Todd. Good morning, everybody. I am Yasha Franklin Hodge, the chair of the Public Improvement Commission, and I call to order the PIC hearing of March 13th, 2025. Mr. Leining, would you please take the roll call?
Sure. Wait. Would the representative from the Public Works Department please state their name for the record?
Yasha Franklin Hodge.
Property Management Department?
Joseph Callahan.
Transportation Department?
Amy Cording.
Inspectional Services Department? I thought we had Brian on.
Brian Ronan.
Oh, there we go. Thank you, Brian. Commission for Persons with Disabilities? Sarah?
Sarah Young.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Oh, and Denise is joining right now. Let's give her 1 second if you don't mind. Good morning, Denise. We just got started. Would you mind just introducing yourself?
Denise Devlin, Boston Water and Sewer.
Perfect. Thank you. We have full quorum.
Thank you very much. And straight into our first order of business, the hearing minutes. At the request of the Public Improvement Commission staff, the acceptance of the minutes of the PIC hearing held on February 27th, 2025. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of February 27, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. On to our next section, the public hearing continued. Public hearing continued number 1 on a petition by OTDD2 Title LLC for the widening and relocation of the existing right-of-way lines of Dorchester Avenue, Public Way, South Boston, as well as for the acceptance of a highway easement located on its westerly side at address number 495, generally between Alger Street and Woodward Street. This was new business on February 13th, first public hearing on February 27th, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Widening and Relocation Plan, Dorchester Avenue, Public Way, South Boston, one sheet dated February 27th, 2025. I'll ask the proponents to introduce themselves and their affiliations and let us know about any changes to this specific action since your previous hearing. We'll take all the actions here one at a time.
All right, good afternoon, Mark Rosenshine with Trademark Partner. I'm the owner's project manager representing Core Investments, and I'm joined by Kevin Wright with VHB, Amy Applebaum from McPhail, Michael Cahill from Core Investments. And I'm assuming just a quick overview, and then Kevin's going to jump right in. Hopefully you're seeing my screen. It's the right one. On the dot was a 21-acre master PDA plan on the western side of Dorchester Avenue, running just north of Andrews Square Station. You can see phase 1 is outlined in blue. Phase 1 of the project represented 9 acres with 4 proposed buildings, 495 Dorchester Avenue's residential building, 65 and 75 Ellery and 505 Dorchester Avenue are commercial buildings. As part of that first phase, new streets, new open space, improvements to Alger, Dorchester Avenue. Phase 1A, the very first piece, is 495 residential building in the northeast corner of the site, bounded by Alger Street. Dorchester Avenue is existing streets to be improved, and then new streets in Ellery and Service Road. This will be consistent for all of the presentations that are coming up. So I'm going to turn it over to Kevin, and he can walk you through the details.
Thank you, Mark. Should now see my screen. With respect to the widening relocation plan, this is a plan showing a 20-foot extension of Dorchester Avenue from its current right-of-way position. So no changes from our presentation that we gave for the new business hearing with respect to this plan.
All right, thank you guys. Commissioners, any questions or comments on public hearing continued number 1? All right, hearing none. PIC staff or members of the public?
No, I will take this opportunity to remind the public, if you wish to ask questions or add testimony, please use the raised hand function at the bottom of your screen. I do not see any at this time, and PIC staff is all set on this action.
All right. Well, with that, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing continued number 1?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by OTD D2 Title LLC for the widening in location in Dorchester Ave is read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. On to public hearing continued number 2 on a petition by OTD D2 Title LLC for the widening, relocation, and extension of the existing right-of-way lines of Alger Street, Public Way, South Boston, as well as for the acceptance of a highway easement located generally at the side of 495 Dorchester Avenue, west of Dorchester Avenue. New business on February 13th, first hearing on February 27th, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Widening Relocation and Extension Plan, Alger Street, Public Way, South Boston, one sheet dated February 27th, 2025. Would the proponents please reintroduce themselves, their affiliations, and give us an update on any changes to this plan since your last hearing?
Again, Kevin Wright on behalf of the 495 Dorchester Avenue project, petitioned by OTD D2 Title LLC, here with Mark Rosenshine and Ben Downing, Michael Cahill from CORE. This is the widening, relocation, and extension of Alger Street, 17 feet to the south side of Alger Street, and the extension at the far end to the west side. No changes since our new business hearing or the continuance.
Very good. Commissioners, questions? PIC staff or members of the public?
All set on this.
Do I hear a motion to approve public hearing continued number 2?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by OTD D2 Title LLC for the widening, relocation, and extension of Alger Street is read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. On to public hearing continued number 3 on a petition by OTD D2 Title LLC for the line and grade approval and the acceptance of a highway easement for a new public way in South Boston to be known as Bayline Drive, located generally west of Dorchester Avenue from the westerly terminus of Alger Street to a point southerly. New business on February 13th, first public hearing on February 27th, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Line and Grade Plan, Bayline Drive, Public Way, South Boston, one sheet dated February 27th, 2025. Would the proponents please reintroduce themselves and their affiliations and let us know about any changes since your new business or your previous hearing?
Again, this is Kevin Wright from VHB on behalf of the 495 Dorchester Avenue project, petitioned by OTD D2 Title LLC. I'm here with Mark Rosenshine and Ben Downing and Michael Cahill, also part of the project team. And before you is the plan for line and grade for Bayline Drive. This plan has not changed since our new business hearing, but we've laid out the line work for this right-of-way as presented at the new business hearing and asked for a continuance in the public hearing a couple weeks ago.
Excellent. Commissioners, questions? PIC staff or members of the public?
All set.
All right, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing continued number 3?
I'll make a motion to approve petition by OTD D2 Title LLC for the line and grade approval of Bayline Drive is read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. On to public hearing continued number 4 on a petition by OTD D2 Title LLC for the line and grade approval and the acceptance of a highway easement for a new public way in South Boston to be known as Ellery Street, located generally between Dorchester Avenue and Bayline Drive from Alger Street to a point southerly. New business on February 13th, first public hearing on February 27th, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Line and Grade Plan, Ellery Street, Public Way, South Boston, one sheet dated February 27th, 2025. The proponents please reintroduce themselves, their affiliations, and let us know about any changes since your last hearing.
Morning again, Kevin Wright from VHB. I'm here on behalf of the 495 Dorchester Avenue project petitioned by OTD D2 Title LLC. I'm also here with Mark Rosenshine, Ben Downing, and Michael Cahill as a part of the project team. And before you, you have the plan for line and grade for Ellery Street. And since our new business hearing and the public hearing continuance, we have no changes to this plan. And everything is shown as we presented.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, questions, comments? Hearing none, PIC staff or members of the public?
All set.
All right, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing continued number 4?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by OTD D2 Title LLC for the line and grade approval of Ellery Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. On to public hearing continued number 5 on a set of petitions by OTD D2 Title LLC for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in South Boston, consisting of curb realignment, roadway and sidewalk reconstruction with structural soil, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, specialty pavement, street lighting infrastructure, storm drain infrastructure, street trees, planters, landscaping, green stormwater infrastructure, bike rack, street furniture, bollards, raised crosswalks, driveway curb cuts, and protected bike facilities. Dorchester Avenue at address number 495, generally between Alger Street and Woodward Street, Alger Street between Dorchester Avenue and Bayline Drive, Ellery Street south of Alger Street, Bayline Drive south of Alger Street. This was new business on February 13th, had its first public hearing on February 27th, and is shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Specific Repair Plan, Dorchester Avenue, Alger Street, Ellery Street, Bayline Drive, South Boston, 8 sheets dated February 27th, 2025. Would the proponents please reintroduce themselves, their affiliations, and give us an update on anything that has changed since your new business, since your last hearing, and any sort of responses to discussion items from previous hearings that have not already been shared publicly with the commission.
Good morning. My name is Kevin Wright. I'm here on behalf of, I'm from VHB on behalf of the 495 Dorchester Avenue project petitioned by ODT D2 Title LLC. Before you is the specific repair plan package. The first sheet here is for Dorchester Avenue. No changes have been, oh, sorry, the one change has been made to this plan that was previously coordinated with the Commission on Disabilities. We relocated this manhole structure from the path of travel that was shown on the new business hearing plan set. Everything else for Dorchester Avenue with respect to the furnishing zone, sidewalks, crosswalks, and crossings are all as we have previously shown. With respect to Alger Street, this is the specific repair plan. At the last hearing, we talked about level landing and detectable warning for this crossing, which we have added in a concrete pad and detectable warning panel. And we've been in coordination with Dolores Carbona and her team, and we'll work with them going forward to discuss and review ramps as they come along in the project construction and phase schedules. This is the plan for Ellery Street. No changes since our new business hearing. With respect to this layout, Bayline Drive, with respect to the coordination and layout, this is all the same as we have previously shown. And then our details are all city standard or the necessary details to show what's going on with respect to the trees, furnishing zones, bike racks, and the crossings that are associated with the specific repair plans.
Excellent. Thank you very much. One question, I know that there was some discussion previously about maintenance responsibilities, specifically snow clearance on bike lanes. Can you speak to where we're at on that question?
Yes, Commissioner, members of the commission, my name is Paula Devereaux, and I'm representing OTD in this matter. I'm a lawyer with Pierce Atwood. I have been in conversations with John Liu on this, and we are working out the maintenance arrangements. I believe that we have agreed that the developer will be responsible for the maintenance of these specific repairs.
And just to add, we had a good conversation with Department of Public Works and Todd Liming about snow management on bike lanes and some other challenges. So I think we're all on the same page as far as developers' responsibilities and timing.
Excellent. Well, I did hear that from our operations team that they felt comfortable with that agreement. So thank you for that, and appreciate you working to fully codify that commitment in the LMI.
Okay.
All right. With that, commissioners, questions, comments?
Oh, good morning. Yes, I have a comment. This is Denise Devlin from Boston Water and Sewer. We had made a comment previously that we didn't want trees on top of our facilities, but looking at the Dorchester Ave plans, it looks like there'll be some trees on top of our water pipes and then possibly our sewer and drain pipes as well. So I just didn't know if you had other discussions with through the site plan process or anyone else from BWSC about this.
We are in the process of addressing our site plan comments and getting them resubmitted. At our last review and check, we had not had trees on top of your facilities, but we will review. I think, are these the trees that you're in question of, Denise? The ones?
So go ahead, Kevin. Yes, it's those ones. And then I noticed on the other side, on the right side of the plans, they looks like they might be on top of the sewer and the drain there as well.
I think everything is in the right-of-way and these are back on the curb line because the existing property line is here, but we will review and double-check and make sure and coordinate with Sean McPhee and his team as we go through the site plan process on this project.
Okay, thank you, Kevin.
Yep, you're welcome.
Denise, are you comfortable with us continuing with this action while that process takes place?
Oh, yes, that's no problem. Yeah, sure, thank you.
Yep. Commissioners, other questions, comments?
Hi, Sarah Young from the City of Boston Historic Commission. We just want to thank the team for working with both our department as well as Dolores. I believe that we had received formalized comments from Dolores' team yesterday, and we just want to make sure that the project team was in receipt of those comments.
Yes, Sarah, we received those comments and we actually have a follow-up with that team next week to talk through the comments and make sure that we're all on the same page. So thank you, we received them and we'll address them, I'm sure, with everyone next week.
And I just want to add on that PIC is able to approve cases on a contingency basis, that you continue to work with us to prove that the ramp will be accessible. But even if we were to request further documentation, it would not prevent you from getting PIC approval.
Understood, thank you.
All right. That answers the question I was going to ask you, Sarah and Dolores. So we will continue. Commissioners, other questions, comments? All right, PIC staff or members of the public?
I would just ask that the specific repair plans be updated before final Mylars are submitted to address any comments from the Water and Sewer Commission and also from Disabilities and Public Works' accessibility teams.
No problem.
All right, with that, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing continued number 5?
I'll make a motion to approve a set of petitions by OTD D2 Title LLC for the making of specific repairs within Dorchester Ave, Alger Street, Ellery Street, and Bayline Drive as read into the record by the chair, contingent upon final coordination with the Boston Water and Sewer Department about tree placement and ramp coordination with the Public Works Department, all resulting in updated Mylars to top.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. On to public hearing continued number 6 on a petition by OTD D2 Title LLC for the granting of a private utility license for the installation of new utility infrastructure within Ellery Street, public way, South Boston, generally located at the rear of 495 Dorchester Avenue, south of Alger Street. This was new business on February 13th. With the first public hearing on February 27th, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Utility License Plan, Ellery Street, 495 Dorchester Avenue, and 65 Ellery Street, South Boston, one sheet dated February 27th, 2025. Would the proponents please reintroduce themselves, their affiliations, and let us know what has changed, and please share any updates or insights related to questions raised in previous hearings.
Right. My name is Kevin Wright on behalf of BHB and the 495 Dorchester Avenue project. It's petitioned by OTD D2 Title LLC. Here with Mark Rosenshine, Michael Cahill, Ben Downing, as members of the project team presenting today. Before you see the license plan for Ellery Street, changes since our last presentation at the new business hearing. We've scaled back the coloring, the telecom and electric manhole utilities as they're shown. They were shown as bold and not necessarily the private utilities that are petitioned. The petition was for private drainage lines that cross the street here, as well as an ambient loop line that is under the bike lane. Since our new business hearing, we've talked internally with our team and discussed the ambient loop because we understood this was a concern from Chief Hodge. And since that time, as I said, we've reviewed everything. The ambient loop is within the bike lane, as shown on the plan, and per the maintenance agreements that's been worked out with the owners, the developer, the legal teams, the maintenance of the bike lanes and sidewalk will be on the developer's responsibility. So that alleviates that concern. The ambient loop temperature when installed is going to be 70 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. It will be insulated. The outside temperatures will be within a couple of degrees of the surrounding soil temperatures to not adversely affect trees or plantings in the area. There is a portion that remains under Alger Street and is under the city's control, which is on this end. And as I reached out to Chief Hodge before this date and confirmed that this was acceptable, with the understanding that it's noted that this will be an empty 12-inch HDP insulated pipe until sometime in the future when PWC and the development can construct the sewer water heat recovery system and facility.
Thank you very much, and very much appreciate the diligent follow-up on the questions from the new business hearing, and certainly the issues that I raised and the concerns that I raised have been well satisfied by your responses. So again, much appreciated. Commissioners, questions, comments? Hearing none, PIC staff or members of the public?
All set?
All right. With that, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing continued number 6?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by OTD D2 Title LLC for the granting of a private utility license in Ellery Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Thank you very much. On to public hearing continued number 7 on a petition by OTDD2 Title LLC for the granting of a projection license for the installation of a canopy over a portion of the sidewalk within Ellery Street Public Way, South Boston, located on its easterly side at the rear of 495 Dorchester Avenue, generally south of Alger Street. New business on February 13th, first public hearing on February 27th, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division License Plan, Ellery Street, 495 Dorchester Avenue, and 65 Ellery Street, South Boston, one sheet dated February 27th, 2025. The proponents please reintroduce themselves, their affiliations, and give us an update on anything that may have changed since your previous hearings.
Morning again, my name is Kevin Wright of VHB. I'm here on behalf of the 495 Dorchester Avenue project petitioned by ODT D2 Title LLC. I'm also here with Mark Rosenshine, Ben Downing, Michael Cahill, representing the project team. Before you is the canopy plan for Ellery Street, the canopy license plan for Ellery Street. Since our new business hearing, the only thing that's change is that we have added the note that the canopy will be heat traced and internally drained. It's note number 4 on this plan. And everything else is as we presented before the commission at our new business hearing.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, questions, comments? Hearing none, PIC staff or members of the public?
All set.
All right, do we hear a motion to approve public hearing continued number 7?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by OTDD2 Title LLC for the granting of a projection license in Ellery Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. And finally, for this set of petitions, on to public hearing continued number 8 on a set of petitions by OTD D2 Title LLC for the granting of an earth retention license for the installation of a temporary earth support system within the following public ways in South Boston: Alger Street, generally between Dorchester Avenue and Bayline Drive; Bayline Drive, generally south of Alger Street; Ellery Street, generally south of Alger Street. New business on February 13th, first public hearing on February 27th, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Conceptual Earth Support Plan, Alger Street, Bayline Drive, Ellery Street, South Boston, 4 sheets dated February 27th, 2025. The proponents please reintroduce themselves, their affiliations, and let us know about any changes since your previous hearings.
Good morning. Again, my name is Kevin Wright of VHB. I'm here on behalf of 495 Dorchester Avenue project petitioned by ODT D2 Title LLC. I'll also turn it over in a minute to Ben Downing to speak to the specific changes, but with respect to these plans, Amy Cording made the comment with respect to the cutoffs, and that has been added to the plan and updated. So we have 6 feet for final grade in areas of the sidewalk and 10 feet cut off for the roadway. I'll turn it over to Ben to speak to the specific changes, as there's a detail sheet that was added to this set of plans.
Yep, thanks, Kevin. So on the sheet, we added 3 sections. They're shown at the end: an example of soldier pile and lagging adjacent to Alger Street, an example of sheet piles which will be installed within the future Ellery Street, and then sheet piles which will be installed adjacent to Alger Street for the construction of the future 65 Ellery building. So the soldier pile and lagging systems are conceptually designed to be cantilevered right now, no internal or external bracing. The system within Ellery Street, Kevin, can you scroll up just to, yeah, the systems within Ellery Street are also considered to be, or conceptually planned to be cantilevered at this time. Those will be installed well before Ellery Street is constructed, so there will be no utilities in place at that point. And site grades will likely be lower at the time we install the sheet piles, which will allow us to cantilever them. And then you can go back down to the details. And then the current conceptual plan for the future basement construction is to do internal bracing of the sheet piles adjacent to Alger Street.
much.
Questions? Yeah.
Yeah, commissioners, go ahead. And can you just remind us again sort of the purpose of these systems?
Yep. For the basement construction is always, the other sites or systems are needed because we have a number of remedial excavations to perform as part of the site cleanup that are going to require 8 to 30-foot excavations at different parts of the site. And so that's the intent. So though the soldier pile and lagging, the sheet piles will likely be done well before any of the other utilities are constructed and as part of the site remediation.
Excellent. Thank you for offering that additional detail. Commissioners? Hearing none, PIC staff or members of the public?
All set on this one.
All right. With that, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing continued number 8?
I'll make a motion to approve a set of petitions by OTD D2 Title LLC for the granting of an earth retention license in Alger Street, Bayline Drive, and Ellery Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. All right, we are all set, and I just want to extend and recognize some thanks, Kevin, to you in particular, but really to the whole team for working through such a complex set of actions with such diligence and efficiency. It's very much noticed and appreciated, so thank you for how you worked with us throughout the process here.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I look forward to working with you all on future projects.
Indeed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. On to the public hearing section of our agenda. Public hearing number 1 on a petition by SNH Seaport LLC for a street name change, renaming a portion of Bond Drive, private way open to public travel, South Boston, located between Courthouse Way and Fanpier Boulevard, to be formally known in the future as Innovation Way. This was new business on February 27th, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Street Renaming Innovation Way. FKA Bond Drive, private way, open to public travel, South Boston, one sheet dated March 3rd, 2025. The proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and give us any updates since your new business hearing on this petition.
Good morning, my name is John Schmidt with Niche Engineering, and with me is Mary Marshall from the RMR Group LLC. We presented the new business about 2 weeks ago, and there were some questions that were asked about notification to abutters and local councilmen, and Mary can speak to that. But the limits haven't changed, and they are as presented during new business.
Yes, thank you, John. Mary Marshall from the RMR Group, the manager of the 2 properties, which are occupied by Vertex. We also have a representative of Vertex here this morning. We did reach out to the abutters, who also have frontage on Bond Drive. One of the letters was returned because we used the address as noted in the assessor's office, and sent it by FedEx, and there was no forwarding address given. So we were not able to make contact with that owner, but we did attempt to. We did speak to the ownership of 10 Fanpier Boulevard, and they're represented by CBRE, and they were comfortable with, there was back and forth email exchange, they were comfortable with the name change. In addition, we reached out to Councilor Edward Flynn, who represents South Boston, and explained the proposed name change and the reason for it, and offered to meet with him if helpful, and did not hear anything back. So.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate the additional outreach that took place, and I think, as you know, we discussed a bit in the previous hearing. You know, we're always a little wary about streets that change names midway, but given the unique circumstances here and the lack of potential for significant confusion by constituents, you know, this does not seem to be problematic, and very much appreciate the proponents' desire to recognize in the street name the great work that happens on this block. So With that, commissioners, questions, comments? Hearing none, PIC staff or members of the public?
No, all set on this, and I appreciate the project team working with us on our various requirements for this type of action.
Our pleasure, and thank you for giving us that direction. I should have thought of it first off.
All right, with that, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 1?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by SNH Seaport LLC for the street name change, renaming a portion of Bond Drive to Innovation Way, as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Before we move on, Amy, any actions that the city will need to take related to the name change, signage, official data sets? Do we have that in hand or?
Yeah, Todd has a typical notification package that gets to all of the people who care about street name changes, and I will right now put in a request to change the street name signs.
All right, excellent.
Great question, actually. Is there a particular date, John and Mary, you want this to happen, or is that not a big deal?
Yeah, I guess, is this ceremonious or is this transactional?
Good question, Commissioner Cordy. I think we would want to coordinate with our tenant, Vertex, and Constantinos is on the call here, but may we get back to you as to that?
Absolutely.
They're you can speak to it, Constantinos, but I think there's a great deal of excitement about this, so.
Yeah, absolutely. I can say that everyone is very excited about it, very excited to highlight the innovation, and thank you all for the approval. I will circle back and send that information to Mary to send that out. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Commissioner Gordon. Good question.
Great.
All right. Thanks all. On to public hearing number 2, a joint petition by 11 Heron LLC and 26 Heron LLC for the widening and relocation of the existing right-of-way lines of Heron Street, private way, open to public travel, West Roxbury, on both sides at address numbers 11 and 26. Generally northwest of Washington Street. This was new business on February 27th, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Widening and Relocation Plan, Heron Street, private way, open to public travel, 11 and 26 Heron Street, West Roxbury, one sheet dated March 12, 2025. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and there are 2 separate actions here, so we can get into the details one at a time, but please introduce yourselves and let us know about any changes on the widening and relocation action since your previous hearing.
Good morning, Rick Latini with Howard Stein Hudson, and I am here with Ward Giles representing the applicant, 11 Heron LLC and 26 Heron LLC, as well as legal counsel George Morency. Do you want a little background on the project or just go right to the widening?
If you want to give us a 30-second refresher, that would be great.
Well, just the project location here is northwest of Stony Brook Reservation. Heron Street's located off of Washington Street in West Roxbury. Our sites total about 1.2 acres. There's 2 of them. There's 11 Heron Street, which is about 2/3 of an acre, and 26, which is about half an acre. Just quickly blowing through them. 11 Heron Street is a 4.5-story building with 40 units and has below grade parking for about 33 vehicles. 26 is slightly smaller at 32 units and it has parking for 24 vehicles. So we are proposing a widening on our private way open to public travel next to 11 and 26 Heron Street, as well as the Stony Brook condominiums. The widening is about 4.5 to 5.5 feet wide. And what this allows us to do, which we'll see on the next agenda item, is allows us to put on-street parking, a grass strip, and a sidewalk, which wouldn't fit otherwise. There were no questions at new business for this subject matter, but give it back to the commission to see if anything's come up since.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Commissioners, questions, comments? All right, hearing none. PIC staff or members of the public?
All set on this one.
Do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 2?
I'll make a motion to approve a joint petition by 11 Heron LLC and 26 Heron LLC for the widening and relocation of Heron Street, as read into the record by the chair.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. On to public hearing number 3 on a joint petition by 11 Heron LLC and 26 Heron LLC for the making of specific repairs within the following roadways in West Roxbury, consisting of curb realignment, roadway and sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, storm drain infrastructure, street trees, landscaping, hydrants, driveway curb cuts, raised crosswalks, and a retaining wall. Washington Street at Heron Street, private way on both sides, generally at address numbers 11 and 26 northwest of Washington Street. New business on February 27th, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, specific repair plan, Heron Street, private way open to public travel, 11 and 26 Heron Street, West Roxbury, 3 sheets dated January 29th, 2025. Would the proponents please reintroduce themselves and their affiliations and let us know about any updates since your new business hearing.
Great. Rick Latini with Howard Stein Hudson, here with Ward Giles, representing the applicant, 11 Heron LLC and 26 Heron LLC, and legal counsel George Moranci. I'll skip through these are some existing pictures of but I'll skip through them. Just a short answer is today there's a 4-foot wide bituminous concrete sidewalk that only goes 290 feet. We're extending it another 430 feet to the last house on Heron Street. On top of it, we're adding a 5-foot wide minimum cement concrete sidewalk on the northeasterly side, which does not exist today. We have a 22-foot wide roadway, and there's 3 pull-off areas, 6-foot offsets that allow on-street parking. So we did have some comments at new business that we believe we've addressed. One of them was to see if we could push this retaining wall back a little bit further at the entry. So we're able to get another 6 inches. We do need to leave room for a footing. So this was 5 feet, it's up to 5.5 feet. These crossings that we're redoing originally had ramps, but the Disabilities Commission asked if we can make them raised crossings, and we were able to look at the grading and determine we could, so that has been changed. We tweaked these pull-off areas a little bit to minimize the jog here from the sidewalk going through these areas here in at 26 Heron Street. We also added a sidewalk here connecting the northeasterly and southwesterly sidewalks. Before, these were just ramping down to gravel over here, so we'd asked to connect them with a sidewalk, so we've done that as well. We were asked about these street trees here, which are not adjacent to our project, and they will be included in our license maintenance and indemnification agreement. And did I add anything else? No, actually, the other thing was, Chair Franklin Hodge, you asked about the pavement in the roadway. We are planning on reclaiming the asphalt and using that as the subbase and then paving over it. But what I will do is I'll send you a plan and section to share with your staff at Public Works so we all agree on what that section looks like before construction. And we did reach out earlier to Ms. Carbona as far as detailing the grading for the ramps, which will not be a flush section anyhow, but we'll share that with her too. I think that has covered everything that came up at the new business. I'll hand it back to the commission.
Very good. Thank you very much. And appreciate all of the responsiveness on those issues. Commissioners, questions, comments?
Sarah Leon with the City of Boston Disabilities Commission. I want to echo Chief's appreciation for the responsiveness to our comments as well.
Commissioners, any other questions, comments? PIC staff or members of the public?
All set on this.
All right. With that, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 3?
I'll make a motion to approve a joint petition by 11 Heron LLC and 26 Heron LLC for the making of specific repairs within Washington Street and Heron Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
On to our last public hearing on a petition by the City of Boston Parks and Recreation Department for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Boston proper, consisting of curb, sidewalk, and pedestrian ramp reconstruction, as well as new and relocated street lighting infrastructure, street trees, street furniture, and mountable curb. Kenmore Street on its easterly side at Commonwealth Avenue generally at Kenmore Street. This was new business on February 27th as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Specific Repairs Plan, Kenmore Street, Commonwealth Avenue, 3 sheets dated February 18th, 2025. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and give us an update on any changes or developments since your new business hearing?
Hi, everyone. I'm Amy Lene from Boston Parks. So this project, as you may recall, is a parks parcel. It's a little bit under 1 acre, part of the ComApp Mall. And so as we're doing our park renovation, we have a portion of sidewalk at Kenmore Street in the right-of-way, and then a portion at Charles Gate West that's owned by DCR. We have a few minor changes to report, so I will turn it over to Kathy Bethany from Weston and Sampson, our design consultant for the project.
Hi, everyone. So we received 2 comments in the last hearing. The first was to coordinate with the Boca overpass team on the southeasterly corner of Commonwealth inbound and Charles Gate West to see who would be constructing that ADA curb ramp. Both teams had included it. So we did coordinate with them and determined that it made sense for their team to do that work. So we've removed that from our plans, and we will continue to coordinate with their contractor and our contractor as we actually complete our project and their project simultaneously. And then the other edit was to remove or ensure that the frames for handholds had the BTGE designation on the frame itself. So we included that in span set as well.
Excellent, thank you very much. Commissioners, questions, comments? Hearing none, PIC staff or members of the public, and I think we have a couple of raised hands, but Todd, do you want to?
Yep, see a few folks here. Margaret, I'll invite you to unmute yourself and go ahead.
Okay. My name is Margaret Picorni. I chair the Commonwealth Avenue Mall Committee for the Friends of the Public Garden. And I just wanted to, on their behalf, express our gratitude to the commissioners for the advice and consent on this project, which we have been promoting for 7 years. So the fact that it's about to happen is really exciting. And also to just reiterate that there's a lot of community involvement in this project, a lot of coordination between the private and public groups that are working on it. And so any things that come up will be well vetted and chewed over so that things are not duplicated as the projects go forward. Because the Charles Gate project and the Kenmore project have really been progressing in tandem over that period of time. So thank you all for your help with this.
Great. Pam Beal, please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Thank you, everyone, and good morning. My name is Pam Beal, and I'm here in my capacity as president of the Kenmore Association to go on record in support of this project. The Kenmore Square community will be delighted to see this work begin, so I want to take this time to thank everyone for all their efforts and assistance in moving this project forward. As Margaret said, it's been a number of years, and we've all coordinated and worked well together, and we look forward to a really harmonious and productive process. So thank you all for your contribution to this effort.
If there's anyone else, I'd ask you to please raise your hand. Seeing none, I think PIC staff is all set on this.
All right, excellent. Well, very glad to appreciate the comments from the members of the community speaking in support, and always good to see something like this moving through that has that enthusiastic endorsement from people in the neighborhood. So thank you very much. With that, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 4?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by the City of Boston Parks and Recreation Department for the making of specific repairs within Kenmore Street and Commonwealth Avenue as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Thank you all very much. All right, that concludes the public hearing section of our agenda, and we can move on to new business, starting with new business 1, South Street, Walter Street, Fletcher Street, Robert Street, Farquhar Street, South Walter Street, Hewlett Street, West Roxbury, specific repairs on a joint petition by the City of Boston Transportation Department and the City of Boston Public Works Department. The proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and tell us what you are proposing to do.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is John Monticelli with the Public Works Department, Streets Cabinet here at the City of Boston. I'm joined by our consultant, VHB. I think Elisa Arriaga is here with us. Yep, thank you. She showed up.
I'm here.
So this originally started as a signal upgrade project with capital money invested to bringing the infrastructure at the Robert South intersection primarily, improving traffic safety or transportation safety overall, and then also bringing a variety of the ramps and corners and sidewalks up to compliance for accessibility. We were able to introduce a couple spots of green infrastructure and a handful of raised crosswalks to mitigate some of those turning conflicts and interactions between pedestrians and turning vehicles. A variety of new signal infrastructure is being installed out here to either upgrade antiquated equipment or to relocate things to create a better, more accessible experience for people on the sidewalks. And then, as the chief listed out, there are a lot of pieces to this. This grew in slight scope as we started to dig into that larger intersection. A lot of deficiencies that needed to be corrected for the sidewalks and the ramps and street lighting. So we expanded the scope a little bit to include some of these other unsignalized intersections while we're out there. So I'll hand it over to Elisa, and if there's anything that I missed or just didn't discuss, she can bring up, and then we can take questions.
Yep, thank you, John. So as John was saying, there's definitely a lot of improvements in this area. So we're going to start with South Street. So South Street, the sidewalk was extended and the street was narrowed to allow for like more streamlined traffic flow. And we added 2 raised cross sections, one on Fletcher Street and one on Farquhar Street. We're also redeveloping all the concrete sidewalks, and they're all going to be like new concrete sidewalks with new vertical granite curb. And we're also adding a new street level bike lane all along South Street. And like John mentioned, we are doing a lot of traffic signal improvements, including new mast arms and new push buttons at the crosswalks. And yeah, I think that's what we have. I don't know if I missed anything, Angela or Kyle. But we've been coordinating with a lot of city agencies, including the Disabilities Commission, to make sure that all of the crossings are improving pedestrian experience and safety.
I'll just add, one thing that's not shown on here in clearer detail is that there's a significant portion of the extended sidewalk or the reclaimed hardscape area that we're depaving, whether it's simple plantings or adding street trees. So it's a little more difficult to understand on the plan set here, which is the busyness, but we are reclaiming a variety of spaces from hardscape to committing to permeable.
Yeah, so like, if you can see like these areas where it says like LA, those are new landscape areas. So one here, over here, and we are protecting all the existing trees as well.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And, great to see these sort of, I know the scope has increased, but this sort of holistic approach to thinking about street changes with a lens on safety and pedestrian comfort and experience. Can I ask sort of how has this project been discussed with members of the community at this point?
So the community was involved in the very beginning when we kind of talked about this one intersection, and they were part of what led to the scope increasing, just kind of calling attention to a variety of other things that we could take care of. It was very direct, it was very easy to find a solution. The community was also really focused on attention to the sidewalks. I think further up south, once it becomes Walter, there are some asphalt HMA sidewalks. So that was kind of where their focus started to lead into. I don't know in the last time we've engaged directly with the neighborhood association, but we can get that on the book before, or at least scheduled before the public hearing so that they can commit public support for that. And then maybe we can also get something from ONS through them as well. But the community is aware, they're supportive, but I would say that they probably could use a refresher.
I appreciate that, and would appreciate, that a little bit of additional outreach and making sure everybody knows this is where this is, and in addition that any relevant elected officials are aware of where this is in the process. But thank you for that. Commissioners, other questions, comments?
Sarah Leon with the City of Boston Disabilities Commission. We just want to thank the BTV team as well as the design team for working with us for, I think, the past year and a bit on this, especially at Robert Ancest Street, on ensuring that we have the shortest possible crossings and the safest possible crossings at this intersection. Yeah.
Commissioners, other questions? One additional question from me, just looking at the landscaping areas, I know there's been some discussions about maintenance of that, but can you kind of update us on the current thinking to the extent that that's been sorted out for this maintenance?
Sorry, so we have been working through OGI, and I can get more in writing for the commission if you'd like, but when we're working with them, Kate and Rachel, to influence firstly that kind of triangle park space on the southwest corner here. We talked a lot about edge treatments, detectable pieces, tripping hazards, people wanting to go in a different desire line than what's being kind of constructed for them. So I can get more detail from Kate from OGI about what this triangle specifically is planned for. I know that there's also other kind of maintenance questions about the landscaping along the street. So we can get that in writing and cemented.
Okay, yeah, let's make sure we work through that. Obviously, always happy to see new, permeable surfaces added in our streetscape, but want to make sure that they don't become eyesores or overgrown or any of those things. So appreciate working through that. One additional question, Todd pointed out to me that at Hewlett Street it looks like we're establishing a daylighting zone along Walter using flex posts as a vertical barrier there. And I'm curious as to if you could speak a little bit to what the purpose of that is and whether there's a potential to look at alternative materials or omitting the vertical barriers. I know we are, I think, trying as a city to do fewer flex post installations, and so wanted to see if you could address that.
Yeah, so it is predominantly to serve as a setback for daylighting for that right turn. Hewlett, people are turning off of Walter at a more than 90 or less than 90-degree angle going up Hewlett. We did explore having this be a raised crosswalk. It was difficult in that conversation because it's technically or somehow part of the signal. So there was this overlapping piece of that. I think that we did talk about having a curb extension there as well, but I think it was at a point in the design where moving curb line and adding additional drainage and underpiping was another scope extension that we were a little uncomfortable in making. However, it's not out of the realm of possibility. I think it's just a kind of direction choice.
Okay, I think that's something worth exploring, and there may also perhaps be other temporary style materials beyond flex posts that could apply here, or even the potential to, introduce daylighting without a physical component. So I think if you can take that as an action item to explore that question between now and the public hearing, that would be great. All right, commissioners, any other questions? Hearing none, PIC staff or members of the public, and I do see we have some raised hands and at least one question in the chat. Todd, I'll turn it over to you to manage.
Sure. We'll go to the raised hands first, and then I'll read that question in the chat out loud. Susan DiMatteo, I believe you had your hand up first. Please unmute yourself and go ahead. Susan, you're muted if you're speaking. Still muted. Susan, I'll give you a minute to gather yourself. Why don't we go to Ben Crowther, then we'll come back to Susan after. Ben, please go ahead.
Hi everyone, Ben Crowther. I'm a resident on Hewlett Street, board member for the Longfellow Area Neighborhood Association. Just want to appreciate just that the scope of this project has grown because we're really all about safety improvements to our streets here in this neighborhood. Just a few comments. We have hosted several meetings on this this topic, so word is out. We'd appreciate continuing that conversation. As a resident on Hewlett Street, I just had a few comments about, in particular, that intersection at Walter and Hewlett. Frequently walk around there. With regards to the flex post positioning, we see some sort of physical component on that corner as very necessary. Right now, there is a no parking here at the corner sign to daylight that intersection, but it's frequently ignored. We would prefer a curb extension, ideally, but a physical component at the very least. With regard to some of the timing, current timing, and hopefully this can be addressed, current timing with the intersection signal at, I guess it's South and Walter, but leading onto Hewlett, that's a very large intersection. You can see the stop line back there on Walter Street. Cars drivers that go through as the light is turning red, because that intersection is so long, the walk signal sign and crossing signal noise goes on as that light is turning red. Drivers are often moving through that intersection while the walk signal and chime noise are on. If you're a small child or someone who's blind, you may not know that car is coming. So really fixing that timing up is really important for that intersection given its length.
Yeah, I'll just, sorry, Ben, I'll comment on that. Thank you for these very specific pieces. The timing of this intersection is 100% going to be reevaluated because the geometrics are changing. So in part of us doing the recalculations for the crosswalks and the red times and things, that's absolutely the opportunity for us to correct some of those past issues. So thank you.
Great. We'll go back to Susan DiMatteo. If you're able to unmute, Susan. Okay, so it looks like she's having a hard time unmuting, but she did drop a note in the chat. She says, echo Ben Crowther's comments with an emphasis on new tree plantings, improved pedestrian lighting at Hewlett Street Crosswalk. Thank you to the PIC, BTD, and Parks. And then beyond that, we have another comment from anonymous Zoom user or asking, can you comment on the MBTA's number 51 bus route? Will the left turn towards Forest Hill Station now be at this intersection?
So based on our conversations with the transit team and the MBTA, we ran bus movements for the other South Robert intersection where the bus is making the right turn around that with the corner that we're reconstructing into the bus stop. And then there's also a route, or maybe it's a deadhead route that they use, but South Walter Street is part of their circulation as well occasionally. So we ran a bunch of the bus movements, both for typical use and then just like physical possibility if they needed to put a bus down a certain street, whether it's South Street properly or Walter Robert area. So currently the curbs are all being designed in a way that the bus can be making additional maneuvers if the network redesign changes it, but I believe the 51 is the only bus that runs to these 2 bus stops. So maybe I didn't answer the question exactly. We can get that from our transit team if the route specifically is changing in some way.
All right. I think that is the end of public questions. Todd, any additional stuff from PSC staff?
No, I think some additional conversations surrounding maintenance of some of these landscaped areas is needed, but we can have that coordinated in the next 2 weeks before the public hearing. So I think we're all set beyond that.
All right, excellent. Will you be ready for your public hearing in 2 weeks on March 27th?
I believe that we will, except for perhaps an on-the-book, or I'm sorry, us having already gone to the public, so we can engage all of those stakeholders and get the paper trail going and then get some things scheduled on the book, but I don't think it'll be in the next 2 weeks.
Okay, I think we can check in. It's helpful to see positive community support in this meeting, and appreciate folks taking the time out of their day to be here to express it. So I think that's a good indication that this project has good support. So we may be fine to move ahead as long as we have clarity on the path forward for.
All right, we'll get that started with the ONS and the counselor and stuff. Thanks.
Excellent. Thank you so much. All right, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
All right, on to our next new business item, Parish Street at 44 Winter Street, Dorchester, specific repairs on a petition by the City of Boston Public Facilities Department. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and let us know what you are proposing to do?
Hi, Chris Thomas with BSC Group. We're the designer. I'm representing public facilities for the specific repairs at Parish Street. I'm not sure if anyone here is with public facilities, but
hey, I'm here. Hassan Sakta, Public Facilities Department, Project Manager. It's a follow-up to Engine 17 Phase 1. Phase 2 will encompass a new fueling station, underground storage tank, proposing widening the sidewalks to accommodate new landscaping, namely some trees, and I will hand it back over to Chris Thomas.
Can I share the plan? If everyone's seeing this, so yeah, just as an overview of the project, the new Engine 17 at 44 Winter Street, this has been constructed and finished, and our project is really the demolition of the old Engine 17 at 19 Parish Street to provide additional parking for the new station along with refueling and stormwater upgrades as part of the project. And then the work at Parish Street within the public way is to widen the existing concrete sidewalk in front of the new station with a 5-foot wide pervious paver, furnishing zone, and 5 tree pits. And this will push the new curb line out a little, but maintain the parking spaces in front of the station. And that's about the extent of the work in the public way.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Couple of questions from my end. So the I assume that this work has been coordinated with Boston Public Schools, with the Mather School, and just in particular thinking about school bus movements that may happen at the intersection of Winter and Paris. Can you just speak a little bit to that?
Well, we're not really making any major changes that should affect the bus route.
Okay, so in terms of turning movements of buses and things like that, there's no anticipation that there should be any impacts from this?
No, because the fire trucks that are going to be that are now using the new Engine 17 will be coming up Paris Street as well, and refueling in the new parking lot right here. So fire engines will be able to turn in here as well as the buses. We're maintaining 12-foot wide lanes that were that should be fine for turning.
Okay.
It's good for the fire trucks, so should be fine for buses.
I appreciate that. I would just ask if you can make sure that the BPS, and in particular the Transportation Department, is fully aware of the proposed changes. It sounds like there's unlikely to be any issues, but given that they are the other abutter on this street, would just be important to make sure they're aware and don't see any concerns.
Yep.
And then the second question I had just related to the maintenance expectations around the trees and the permeable pavers, wanting to understand who is going to be making sure that those things are handled over the long term.
Hassan, you want to take that one?
I can follow up with that for the next hearing on the 27th. I'm not well versed in maintenance plans or for specifically trees.
Got it. Yeah, that would be great. I think, it's sort of here nor there if this becomes something that is maintained by parks or, a city entity that already does maintenance, or if this is something that, there's a LMI for Boston Fire, but we just want to make sure that there's clarity on who's going to have that responsibility and that any relevant departments of the city are signed on to take on the additional maintenance here. Got it. All right, those are my two things. Commissioners, questions, comments?
Sarah Dion with the City of Boston's Disabilities Commission. My colleague Sierra sent a few follow-up comments a few days ago, and I just want to make sure that the team is in receipt of those questions about the reciprocal ramp as well as the Type B ramp on the right side of the page.
Yep, we received the comments, and yep, we can easily address that by the next hearing.
Yes.
All right, commissioners, other questions? EIC staff or members of the public?
I think we are all set for now. We'll expect to see updated plans next 2 weeks and also an answer regarding that maintenance.
All right, excellent. Will you be ready for your public hearing in 2 weeks on March 27th?
Awesome. Thank you.
Wonderful. We'll see you then. Thank you.
Great, thanks.
All right, on to our next agenda item, new business 3, 960 Parker Street at 11 Lamartine Street, Roxbury pedestrian easement on a joint petition by Mildred Haley 3 Limited Partnership and the Boston Housing Authority. The proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and let us know what you're proposing to do.
Yes, thank you, commissioners. My name is Russell Pandrus. I am a project manager with Urban Edge Housing Corporation. This project this pedestrian easement that we're proposing is part of the Mildred Haley redevelopment. It's part of the master plan redevelopment going on at the Mildred C. Haley Apartments, Boston Housing Authority project. This pedestrian easement is associated with the Mildred Haley Building 3, which is a 60-unit multifamily affordable housing development. All units are income restricted at or below 60% area median income. And I will turn it over to our civil engineer to talk a little bit more about the pedestrian easement.
Hey, Joe Oliveira, Sherwood Consulting, representing Urban Edge and the Mildred Haley Building 3 project. So this building has frontage on 3 streets, the Lamartine Extension Street, a Future Street, and then the existing Parker Street. The Future Street and Lamartine are part of the master plan, the overall overall Mildred Haley master plan. The Parker Street is not, it's an existing street. It's going to stay as is. And this petition is specifically for the project wanting to add 2 street trees to the Parker Street sidewalk. It's an existing sidewalk. We're maintaining it, and we're going to add 2 street trees, but to do that, we need to have 5 feet clearance behind them. So this petition is simply for the pedestrian easement along this existing stretch of sidewalk that gives us that 5-foot clearance. And Todd had mentioned that we're going to, before the next hearing, we'll resubmit the pedestrian easement plan to show the curb lines, the street trees, and the clearance.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Commissioners, questions? PIC staff or members of the public?
I'll just kind of expand a little bit on what Joe just said regarding the new street trees here. Those are intended to be installed in coordination with the Parks Department. The Parks Department will take them into their tree inventory, and that's why there's no specific repairs action associated with this project.
Got it. All right, hearing no other questions or comments, will you be ready for your public hearing in 2 weeks on March 27th?
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you very much. We'll see you then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And moving on to our final item of business today, new business 4, 581 Boylston Street, public alley number 439, Boston proper, specific repairs on a petition by 581 Boylston Street owner LLC. With the proponents, please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and let us know what you are proposing to do.
Good morning. My name is Vanessa Roger. I'm with Chevron Partners, and I'm the owner's representative for 581 Boylston Street owner LLC. We're doing a restoration of an 8-story historic building located at 581 Boylston Street. This project's located in the groundwater recharge or groundwater conservation overlay district. So it's subject to Boston Code Article 32. And so we are required to provide a groundwater recharge system per that regulation. I'm joined here by our design team members, Janet Bernardo and Steve Stanish with Horsley Witten. We're here requesting the approval of work in Alley 439 for the installation of a 32-inch infiltration trench under the sidewalk area of the public right-of-way as part of our groundwater recharge system, along with a number of utility tie-ins. Our design team originally investigated locating the recharge system in front of the building along Boylston Street. However, due to the proximity of our project to the MBTA tunnels, it was determined that this approach was not going to be feasible. So given the location constraints we had, we redesigned to locate the recharge system in the rear, which is in fact approved by BWSC back in June of 2024. So we're seeking PIC approval for all of the improvements that are depicted on the plans that we've shared with PIC. So with that, I'll turn it over to Steve and Janet to answer any questions that you guys might have.
Would you be able to share, would somebody be able to share the plans on screen so we can get what's proposed?
Janet, I can share my screen if you'd like. Janet?
Yeah. Do you have that right easy or do you want to?
I do.
Great.
All right, can everybody see my screen?
We can.
All right, great. So the work it proposed in the area of the alley is the infiltration trench, which is located here, and utility tie-ins in this area.
Can you go to sheet 2?
Sure. Here we go.
Yeah, so you can see the infiltration system. It's underneath the sidewalk. And we tie into the combined sewer system as an overflow that's in the alleyway. So this was what Boston Water and Sewer requested, an infiltration trench system to manage the first 1 inch of roof runoff that's coming off of the, from the top of the building, obviously. The roof drain is going into a holding tank that's inside of the building, and that will be pumped into this infiltration train system, and then any overflow from that will be discharged into the combined sewer as requested by Boston Water and Sewer. Does that make sense?
Yep, understood. All right, commissioners, questions? Hearing none, I see staff or members of the public.
Janet or Vanessa may have touched on this, but I'll just mention again, the Boylston Street sidewalk, the public sidewalk is compromised in that the basement extends all the way, or nearly all the way to the curb line there, so that's the reason that this system could not be placed in the front of the building. We typically don't like to see these types of infiltration trenches. They're quite big and bulky and take up a lot of space, but considering the utility nature of the alley, we were able to compromise and accept this type of system at this time.
Thank you for that. All right. Hearing no other comments, we'll be ready for your public hearing in 2 weeks on March 27th.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you very much. We will see you back here then.
Great. Wonderful. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
All right. And with that, we've reached the end of our agenda. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you all very much. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you.